All right, you guys, I am super excited about this. I don't want to make a crazy intro to this video. You guys already know why you're here if you see the title of this video. I am extremely excited with this new Harley Davidson Sportster that they are launching. I think that this is going to be something great for the company. This is going to be amazing. I'm happy they are taking a turn in this direction. The only reason why I haven't made a video in a couple days, as all you guys know, as Harley enthusiasts, we've been awaiting this reveal for a couple days and it's here. So the first thing I want to say is I was excited at the possibility that there may be a Pan America with a 975 engine in it. I know a lot of people have speculated that this bike was going to be the Pan America with the 975. So we would have got another more kind of budget minded adventure touring bike, which is what I'm hoping that we're going to see either sometime this year or next year. I hope that they release this engine in the Pan America. I think that would be a great addition, a little more lighter weight, and it would still give you that off-road capability. It would give you that touring capability, and it would be able to compete very well with some of the other options on the market. I know like Suzuki, a couple other of the Japanese motorcycle companies actually have a lighter weight, lower powered off-road like adventure touring style motorcycle where they lean towards like the 750s, dual overhead cams, all that great stuff. I think the 975 and the Pan America will sell like crazy. It'll be an amazing bike if they do put that out. But all right, let's get into it, you guys. As you've seen on that little video here, they released the 2022 Nightster. So I'm going to tell you right up, I really do love the design of this bike. I love the looks and styling of it. First off, though, if you've watched any of my other videos, come on, Harley, with these dual disc brakes in the front. Like, why can't we get them? Everybody else is doing them. I wish Harley would do them. So we have a single disc front brake, but man, look at that rotor, you guys. That rotor is massive. Got the Brembos up front. Rear, not as impressive with the rear, but you always want to have a small rotor back there. You have that larger rotor in the front. That's where all your stopping power is going to come from. But man, I'm kind of excited. I can't wait to see one of these in person. Another thing you guys are going to know from my previous videos, I am so confused right now as to what is going on with Harley's design team. You put a 2-into-1 exhaust on this. Don't get me wrong, this bike needs a 2-into-1 exhaust, but with this one being as neutered as it is, I mean, look at your hole on the back to get out that exhaust. This reminds me exactly of the Street 500. I had purchased one of those for my wife. That exhaust sounded like an angry sewing machine. First thing I did was take that off and throw a Vance in the Hind slip on for her so that it would actually sound like a Harley. So I hope this one's going to sound better with that more powerful engine. I know it's going to, but man, you couldn't put a 2-into-1 on the Lowrider ST, but you're going to throw one on this bike and make it more of a budget-minded performance motorcycle. It does fall into the sport category for Harley, which I'm great to see that they're branching into that market. I like the handlebars. I like the risers. I think they flow perfectly with the lines of this bike. I do love the red color on here, the red line red. so far this year. I'm not a huge fan of red, but man, this one is amazing in person. I do wish they would have done the front fairing in the redline red, and I wish they would have matched the rear fender in redline red, and I think it would have just set this bike off. I'm kind of not impressed with the numbers on this bike, but I do feel like they came in right where they were going to be expected. So the Bronx was going to be advertised at an estimated 115 horsepower with 70 foot-pounds of torque. Now, we're all still waiting to see if that Bronx comes out. I'm really tempted to see if that one's ever going to make it to the market. I don't know if it's going to, honestly. And if it does, are they just going to release a bunch of these bikes next year and try to slowly phase out the 883 and get rid of the Evolution series of engines? Now, I don't know your guys' take on that, but I think if they did get rid of the Evolution series engines, you're going to have a lot of sore enthusiasts out there, because a lot of the people I talk to still love the air-cooled engine. They love the nostalgia. They want it to be an official Harley-Davidson air-cooled V-twin engine. Now, that being said, I think they did a great job with the radiator. Not as slim-lined as I would like to have seen. I know that with the Pan Americas, we've seen the skid plates. Some options are going to be on the aftermarket for this front area here, so we might get more of a sport style, cowl style little bottom fairing on there. I think that would be great. Now, getting back to the estimated horsepower on the Bronx being 115, Harley Davidson is claiming that this bike right here is going to be 90 horsepower with 70 foot-pounds of torque. That's incredible for a bike this light. I know it's coming in well under the weight of the Sportster S. They integrated this engine into the frame. They stripped a lot of weight out of it. This is going to be a very quick bike. Now, they are saying that that 90 horsepower is going to be at 7,500 RPM, which is crazy for Harley Davidson. In the video that they released, they were telling us that that 975 is going to be producing RPM ranges up to the 9,000s, which is sport bike territory. So I think we're going to see a lot of performance out of these bikes. I think that 13.5 is going to be an amazing price here going forward. I think they're going to sell a ton of these. People that are not pure Harley air-cooled people are going to jump on this bike. I think they're going to open the market up. So I don't know if it's going to be specifically something that I would want. Just because I do like the air-cooled myself. I am kind of a purist in that category. But I am impressed to see the power coming out of these bikes. I kind of just wanted to compare the numbers here with what they are saying. So the Sportster S is claimed at 121 horsepower at 7,500 RPM. And I think that those numbers are great. I also think that my estimate, after you guys do a couple upgrades to this bike and get a tune on it, I think you're going to be getting about 105 to 109 horsepower with just a stage 1 upgrade to this motorcycle and a tune. I think those numbers are going to be completely attainable. So to me, that is the greatest, I think, achievement Harley Davidson is making with this power plant right here. So I know my 114 is coming in about 105 to 109 horsepower with the stage 1 tuned, just as it is, which is not bad. So this bike, I would definitely recommend updating that 2-into-1 exhaust, getting something that's going to be more free flowing, get more air into the bike, get more fuel into the bike, and get that hot air and that exhaust out as fast as possible. So, man, 19-inch front wheel, 16-inch rear. I think those dimensions are amazing. The handling on this bike's going to be insane. They talked about a 5% lean angle increase over Sportsters of the past. That is absolutely insane when it comes to cornering. You're going to be able to really get on this bike and really whip it like a dirt bike. So, I mean, I can't say enough about how great I think this is going here for the future. You're going to get a lot of people interested in Harley Davidson over this bike. Man, the frame, the way that they designed it, I just think that there's not going to be really too many negatives about this bike here. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing for a smaller to mid-framed rider. You know, somebody about 6'2" or 6'3" is not going to feel at home on this bike, but someone about 5'10" is really going to appreciate this bike. These mid controls over here, the whole seating arrangement and the fitment of this bike, the power of this bike, the ride modes. Now, man, this is something I've been really looking forward to with Harley Davidson, is having these ride modes. I got to sit on that Pan America. I got to feel how the suspension automatically adjusted. I got to check out some of the ride modes, and that bike absolutely impressed me. Now, the looks were not where I would want them to be for me to own it, with the exhaust on the Pan America and the tall seat height, and just that bike was set up for exactly the purpose and intent of off-road riding. And I'm not really that much of an off-road rider. If I am, I'm going to get a KTM and I'm going to ride a dirt bike. But just to see the innovation that's coming forward here, I think it's really great. And then the rest of this page is talking about making it your own. This picture here is absolutely amazing. This bike is gorgeous. I'm not going to take anything away from it there. So I'm confused here because I'm trying to place my finger on it. Like, are these LEDs in here, or are these halogen bulbs with just clear lenses on them? So I'll let you guys know some more once I get in and get to take a look at them. I've had a lot going on here. My work is just picking up, so I haven't really got to do as much as I wanted to, especially with this weather out here. We're struggling to get days that are over 50 degrees. So other than that, it's been raining for about 2 weeks straight. So we'll get there, you guys. Just be patient. So I just wanted to address a couple things that I think they really did amazingly well. So the first thing that I think that they did amazingly well, I swear they're watching my channel, but I know they're not because my views are so low. So you guys, if you like these videos, hit that like, hit that subscribe, or at least share it with a friend. It does help me out, even though I'd make these videos for myself, just to get this information out there, try to help anybody who wants to listen, kind of give my 2 cents on it, as well as I enjoy making them. So that's why I keep making them here for you guys. So, all right, something I do want to talk about this bike that made me super excited. Like, look how clean that looks. Super clean all the way around. I mean, man, their designers killed it on this one. But, you know, the Lowrider ST and the Lowrider S, they just could have, that little bit right there, just for me, I think would have pushed it over the top. So this bike is gorgeous, except for the mirrors. I don't like the bar end mounted mirrors. Those would come directly off. I would take those off. To me, I don't like them. Somebody else, that might fit you nice, it might suit your style, but to me it looks like, I mean, I can't even describe what it looks like, especially the circles on it. Like, at least make it a small bar and shield that's a half of that size. So that's just personal preference for me. Another thing, while we are zoomed in here in this tank region, look at the cluster. Look at your gauges. So this is exactly what I said I like. I prefer this. You are getting a dual gauge up here. You are getting your digital readout below. You are also getting your analog up top, which I believe is going to be all your RPMs up top. Your speed is going to be down in the digital area below, as well as what gear you are in. Also, I know that they have the options of flipping through, and there's some other things you could pull up there too, like your range. And you could set a couple different features and check some information up there. So I do think that is a great design. I think that is a huge design strength for Harley Davidson. And I just think this bike looks super clean. Super clean. I'm so excited about this bike. I really can't quit talking about it. I love that front rotor, the size of it, the fact that they advertise the Brimbos up there. They're telling you this bike has power and it's gonna stop. So I like that. Now, something that I didn't think I was gonna like, but I am really, really getting impressed with, is the design of this belt guard. Like, it looks completely industrial to me, and I like the way that it flows with the bike. It kind of gives me a larger feeling swing arm on there. So like your swing arm's right here, but the way that this looks kind of reminds me of like an older vintage style swing arm with the top and the bottom arm sticking out there. So I actually like that. I know a lot of people won't. Another thing that I did notice looking over this bike that I was kind of confused with, and I didn't really know if I liked. Now I know it's designed to be like this, but this shift linkage right here, this is going to be really hard to make an aftermarket shift linkage for this. You see how it curves right up around here, connects back here. I'm going to have to get a closer look at this motorcycle because this is as far as I can zoom in on it. But I know the first thing I always do on a Harley is switch out my shift linkage, especially if you want to get them faster positive engagements when you are shifting. If you're trying to run this bike to redline and really fry some tires and smoke some doors off some cars, that's one of the first things I adjust, because I like to have this adjustable. And it looks like right here, I can't really get any larger. It looks like there may be a little screw. There may be a small adjustment in there, but I can't tell how this is actually connected. But the way that these mid controls sit, like your foot right here, and then stretching out that toe, I would like to see an adjustable shift lever and shift linkage so that you could really dial that in, especially with the power of this bike. I mean, if I buy one of these bikes, I'm literally going to be red light to red light frying tires. So I actually prefer the styling on this bike. I do know that this radiator over here is sticking out just a little bit more than I would prefer. Kind of gives it the illusion of being a wider bike. And also right here, these are kind of sticking out a little bit, as you can see right here where your foot controls are and your brake pedal are. They're almost out as far as that. So maybe someone will come out with an aftermarket radiator up front. We'll be able to trim that down a little bit, kind of. So my only issue with that is mounting a crash guard on the front, an engine guard on the front. I always run one on every bike that I own. They have saved 4 bikes that I own from actually getting totaled, from having any kind of engine damage. Just an amazing thing to put on your bike if you're going to be out riding it, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you set this bike down here, you are destroying this radiator. You're going to be out of commission. And then depending on how much them radiators cost and how it's mounted to your frame, you may be looking at a complete total if that does any damage to that frame at all. So just a couple things to think about. I've been trying to zoom in here as much as possible because I want to see how you would even mount a crash bar or a engine guard up here. And I mean, it would have to mount somewhere up here unless you did just like the crash bars that come out. And I wonder if we would be able to get a 2-in-1 where maybe this pipe would come and angle up and over and down and free up some of this space so you could get that crash bar out. But then again, I think you'd be covering up the nice lines on this engine here. I do like these lines. I like how open it is and I can see the engine. The only thing I don't like is my push rods not being there. But hey, you want to start getting this power and this performance out of these bikes, you got to sacrifice something, So I know people love nostalgia, but I also love performance. And I want to see Harley Davidson push forward into this next generation. I want to share motorcycles with as many people as we can. And if this is going to bring some of those people over to Harley Davidson, let's get them. Let's get them over here. So another thing that I was looking at that I didn't notice, I do not believe that there is any way to set up any kind of passenger pegs on this bike, as well as that seat would have to go. That seat does not look comfortable, and for the power on this bike, you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel locked into that bike. And I mean, they got a couple ripples here that I feel may give you a little bit of traction, but they ain't holding you in. So Saddlemen, hit your boy up when you make a seat for this, because we're going to have to get one. We're going to have to get a Saddlemen on it. Now, I am wondering if there's going to be an option for a passenger peg over here. Haven't seen anything yet. We'll have to see as time goes by if they're going to get any passenger accoutrements on this bike. See if they could set it up here for maybe 2 up, but that's not what this bike is designed for. But I know that may be a benefit to some people getting into these bikes here. You want to have 2 up. You want to have that option. What happens? You're a single dude out on this bike, out ripping down the road, and you want to pick up a nice lady or whatever you prefer and go for a ride around town. So it'd be nice to see some passenger pegs on here. Another thing that I am very fond of, I think this is a great job here with this bobbed fender. Your brake lights got to be integrated in, because this right here is only a reflector. This does not have any, there's no way that is actually a brake light right there. That looks like just one of them plastic reflectors that, they're known for throwing on the back of them fenders. So, I mean, that's another great move forward, Harley. Get rid of that brake light, integrate them into the tail lights. We all want to slim that down as much as possible. I know, coming from that lowrider ST, I got this big eraser hanging off the back of my bike. So anything to slim down the profile of these bikes is well received here. So wheels are gorgeous. This rim design here is gorgeous. I love it. I'm actually kind of jealous. I would like to throw these on my lowrider S in the black and get rid of the burnt bronze. So anybody out there buys one of these, hit me up. I would definitely trade you my burnt bronze for those in a heartbeat. So yeah, you guys, just wanted to touch on a couple things on this bike because I am super excited. Probably going to put another video out here about this bike. I want to really get out there and test ride this. I'm more excited about this than I am the ST, the lowrider ST. I am way more excited about this bike because I think the power it is giving you is going to be tremendous. The exterior dual suspension in the rear, man, I'm so happy to see that. The only thing that I was hoping was that they would come out with like a Dyna style frame with this engine in it. Put this 1250 engine in a Dyna frame with the external rear suspension and let's go. So, I don't know. You throw some Legends on the back of this bike, lift that back end up a little bit more, get a gap in here, get it stanced up real nice and aggressive. This bike is going to be fun. 5% more lean angle. That is amazing. So, all right, you guys, I just wanted to hit you here with this quick video and just get this off my chest because I am completely excited. Harley Davidson, you made my day. Thank you for releasing this motorcycle today. It was some great news. And, oh yeah, let's check these colors. So they did come out with this gunship gray, but I'm not 100% sold on it because, again, like I said, the only thing that they painted was the tank. No color matched fairing, no color matched rear fender. So, I mean, honestly, I think the vivid black looks great on this bike for what you're getting. I think this is gorgeous. I do love this red line red, but I'll tell you right now, if I buy this bike, I would color match this fairing and this fender as soon as possible. I think it would be great. I would like to see what's behind these little pieces here. They're just in there as inserts, but I think that frame would look nasty right there if these were missing and you could see straight through here. Maybe if someone strips one of these bikes down and actually paints this frame and color matches that to the bike, gets rid of these in here, I think that would look great. So that's just my 2 cents. So I am completely excited about this motorcycle. Please let me know how you guys feel. Drop some comments down below. I do try to answer all the comments there, you guys. So every day I'm on there checking. I'm on there a couple times a day trying to check. I'm either liking your comments or I will comment back on them. So I do like to engage anybody who is leaving a message here. Now, please, if you are watching this, let me know how you like the way that this engine looks, because I think the left hand side was kind of left unfinished. If you could see what's going on here, all these hoses, and you could kind of see into the engine, it is not as good looking on this side. I will definitely admit that to you. If you come back over to the other side, it just looks more finished, way more finished. If they would have kept like this color, I don't even know what you would call that. It's almost like a silver, metallic silver kind of plastic covering on there. I don't know. I'm going to have to see it in person, but I would have liked to have seen more than it just right here on these tops of the rocker covers. I would like to have seen that integrated into this, kind of how Indian does on the left hand side of their motorcycles. They kind of at least put a covering over it to kind of mirror the other side. I do think that side looks a little rushed or underfinished. I mean, they threw that coloring down here. I just think it would have popped so much more on that left hand side. This side is absolutely gorgeous with that circle air cleaner. So all right, guys, I'm gonna let you get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you guys continue to watch, and just let me know how you feel about the Lowrider ST coming with them dual pipes. And they completely went about designing the bags the wrong way when they even had a 2-in-1 exhaust design for this bike. So still kind of shocking to me that the Lowrider ST is considered a performance motorcycle with dual exhaust. You consider this bike a sport and you put a 2-in-1 on it. I know that they had them Sport Glide 2-in-1 exhausts readily available. They could have threw that on the ST and ran with that and kept the bags the same. But like I said, super excited about this bike. Really looking forward to getting on this one. So stay tuned, you guys. Keep watching my channel, because as soon as I get a second, I am going to be test riding this bike, and we're going to get you a lot more information on this. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side comparison on this bike compared to the Lowrider S or the Lowrider ST, because, I mean, the power is going to be coming in pretty similar. Like a stock Lowrider S 2020 was coming in at like 92, 93 horsepower with really nothing done to it. So I think with some minimal changes, we'll get this bike up over 100, and I think it'll be a great, enjoyable ride here with this super light bike. So